there's a new update coming and I want to talk about it. Hello everybody, I'm Roadblock and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video, and I am very excited because we have another update coming and I wanted to go ahead and watch it over here and kind of review it. I know I just made a video where I was like, well, I don't really want to do news posts, guys, but I feel like updates are a little different because I can actually give a lot of input there about my opinions, my thoughts on the changes that they're making, in the hopes that it'll actually make some improvements. We're gonna go ahead and pull this over here. The volume should be fine for you guys. And let's go ahead and get started.
Hey everyone, it's time for another sneak peek video where we're taking a look at what's coming in update 10.55. There's lots to unpack here, so sit back, enjoy, and let's get into it.
Yeah, it is.
First up are several expansions to Siege. Your clan fortresses are getting major upgrades with additional buildings.
So I've already watched this and I'm excited for this stuff because Siege is actually a game mode that I like. I know that a lot of people don't. I really enjoy the strategy and kind of the especially as a clan leader and being able to, like, you know, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but expansion is a little misleading, I feel like, because listen up, I just got a new promo link that you can use to follow along with me on my latest free-to-play adventure and get a free Elenaril as well as 3 more powerful epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Log out of Plarium Play and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Don't miss out on your chance to get Elenaril right after signing up, as well as Fayne, Uugo, and Tagoar as you progress through Raid. Click on my link right now and let's crush this together. They made it sound like expansion would be like they were going to give us new levels and stuff, right? Like new floors to the thing. Granted, that's probably a longer term expansion to it, but it got me very excited when I heard that word. And then I found out that they're just giving more levels to the towers and stuff, which is good. And we'll talk about it here in a second.
Levels, more garrison slots, and a brand new defensive mechanic called traps. If you're a new player and you're wondering what Siege even is, go check out the dedicated Siege videos. We'll put the links on screen for you. Now, back to the specifics. All upgradable buildings in your clan fortress can now reach level 6 with expanded garrison slots to house more defense.
Okay, so 30 teams in the stronghold, 18 in mana shrines, 9 in the magic towers, and 12 in the defense towers. So there's something important to note about this. With more defenses, there's something to note about this. With more defenses comes more attacks, but that can be a problem. One thing that's been happening to me a lot is because I can only use champions twice, I run out of uses of the really good champions that I tend to build for PvP. Now, I have a larger roster, but it could potentially be a downside that we're going to struggle. You know, we're going to be using our epics and our rares and our scraps just to claw our way through if we're getting, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 attacks. I get 4 as the clan leader every week, every 2 weeks. And when I'm down to that 4th team, especially if I lost a couple along the way, boy, it gets rough for me down there at the bottom. So now that might be 8. That might be 6, right? You know, so there's a lot that kind of goes into that, and I just wanted to call that out a little bit and say that if they're not going to also give us 3 uses of a champion, which 3, it's really tough, because if you do 3, that's a lot, especially if you're only getting 4 or 5 fights. So, you know, I don't really know what the real solution is, but it could be, especially at my level and my clan's level, that we might be running out of options on attack, and even more so on defense, right? Because we're also going to be utilizing these teams on defense, and now we're going to have to put these kind of scrappy teams together in hopes that they can hold out. So it'll be interesting for sure, but it is going to be punishing to newer players who may have to just throw in a single champion. Like if you think about a brand new player coming to this, granted their clan's towers won't be leveled all the way up, but if you're trying to put together defense teams or attack teams and you've only got a handful of champions, because Siege opens pretty early, you know, especially if you're pushing your account like I did on the challenge, it's going to be difficult to put those teams together. So just some thoughts there.
defense teams. Quick important note though, upgrading buildings from levels 4 to 6 will cost more, as will repairs for these structures. However, there's good news too. More slots mean more florins for fighting through buildings. You'll earn more mana orbs when you successfully protect your stronghold and mana shrines that are level 4 or higher. Same goes for attacking.
I am a little nervous about the florins thing, because florins have gotten to the point now where we're good. We can repair after every siege and upgrade our buildings at a reasonable pace. I am a little nervous that we might go back to that feeling of like we never have enough florins to do anything. So
you'll get opportunities to earn more mana orbs for rebattling enemy teams and higher level shrines you've captured, since there are more teams to fight. The other major addition coming to Siege is traps. Players can install them using florins and mana orbs, but let's find out why you're going to want them first. Traps work in different ways, from concealing a single champion on the defense team to applying irresistible debuffs or even punishing attack.
Decreases each enemy's defense by 30% until the start of their first turn in a battle. That's a lot of defense. Interesting.
Debuffs or even punishing attackers who attempt to place.
Battle Shackles decreases the duration of all buffs on an enemy by 2 turns. The first time they attack in battle, this effect cannot be resisted. That's interesting. There's a lot of strategy coming in here, right? Because you could make a team that somebody might want to use Stone Skin against, and they would seemingly take off their own Stone Skin. That'd be pretty interesting. You yourself could keep your Stone Skin. So that's an interesting one there. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
First turn. They can turn the tide of battle and make a real difference to your defense. Traps can only be placed in magic and defense towers, and only if those towers are fully operational. No repairs outstanding. At the start of a new siege, each eligible building receives up to 3 randomized trap options. The total number of traps a clan can deploy depends on the level of the clan's stronghold, ranging from 2 traps up to a maximum of 18. Any clan member can choose a trap, but it can only be applied to their defense team, and they're limited to 1 trap per siege. Each tower can only have a maximum.
Hold on, let me hear that
trap
again.
Only be applied to their defense team, and they're limited to 1 trap per siege.
Okay, so it sounds like only one member can have 1 trap per siege. So if I put a defense team up and I use a trap and I go in another defense tower, I can't put a trap there. So it's not beneficial for me to take that defense tower, which is good. That's going to spread players around a little bit too, which I like that a lot. And currently, when it comes to Siege, the defense towers are actually low priority for us. Really, our higher priority comes in the form of posts. It's nice to know that now we can put maybe some of our best players in these literal choke points, and they're going to get more benefits to it. So I'm very excited about that.
Each tower can only have a maximum of 2 traps installed. Once a siege begins, active traps will become visible as soon as the attacking team uncovers the garrison slots where those traps are placed. However, here's a tip for you. Only the first attackers who engages a defense team equipped with the trap will suffer the negative consequences.
Don't like that, because I don't really get why. It makes them seem so much less impactful, especially when you can do what they tell you here.
If they win anyway, great news. However, if things are looking bleak, your clan could always nominate someone to intentionally trigger the trap before sending someone more powerful in to safely clear out the defense team lying in wait.
Too easy to overcome. Too easy. I mean, the traps are very powerful, but to just be like, oh yeah, no, hold on. Let me just throw in a UDK. Cool, hey, the trap's done. And then come in with a stronger team. It's too easy to overcome. It makes them seem less valuable. I want them to be valuable.
But what if a clanmate sets up a trap, fumbles it, and then can't log back in to fix things before the prep phase ends? No worries. We've got you covered. One of the quality of life improvements coming out with 10.55 will enable clan leaders to remove...
I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. As a clan leader, I love to be able to have more control over Siege and say, hey, no. Like, you guys, you can't be in this
traps or
stage.
Defense teams during the prep phase. If this happens, affected players will get their resources back, and they'll get a notification on the Clan Fortress page. Oh, and there are no restrictions for affected players either. They can immediately set new traps or assign champions to defense teams like nothing happened. And lastly for Siege, we're introducing 2 new Siege tiers. Progression will work a bit differently. Once your clan accumulates enough Siege points, you'll enter Tier 7 automatically. To get into Tier 8, your clan must win the next siege using at least 30 attack scrolls. If your clan fails on either of these fronts, you'll be demoted back down a tier. Even if you lose, you'll still earn siege points, so ensuring you have the required amount to bounce right back into Tier 7 is as easy as winning a siege. You'll want to put the effort in. You can get mythical demoted back down.
Why the 30 battles? I'm curious about that. Is that to avoid tanking? That might be to actually prevent tanking, so that you can't just like take a stronghold and then hide behind like a really good defense area and not gain too many points, if that makes sense. But you could also just attack with a common 15, 20 times. So I don't think that's a really effective enough way to mitigate that tanking concept, if that's what they're trying to do. I don't really understand why the 30 battles to get to Tier 7, but...
A tier. Even if you lose, you'll still earn siege points, so ensuring you have the required amount to bounce right back into Tier 7 is as easy as winning a siege. You'll want to put the effort in. You can get mythical gear rewards, as well as extra clan points, unique avatar frames, and...
I love how it's 100 quartz instead of just being a primal shard. I find that funny, but I guess because it's quartz, a lower amount of quartz in the other levels.
Materials to get relics from the clan.
That's very
group.
good.
Okay.
That's big, actually. That's very big. Getting those crafting materials is a very, very big deal.
Making balance changes to Teleria's newest monstrous foe, the Chimera. The full numbers and breakdown will be available in the release notes, so we'll keep it brief here. First up, the Ram form is getting a nerf. It'll now reflect less damage while under fear debuffs, and if it's under a true fear, it won't reflect any damage at all. That's not everything.
Whoa, what was that?
That's all. Like any damage at all.
True fear, it doesn't reflect at all. Oh, wow. Wow. That's gonna change things a bunch. I can't remember which is fear and which is true fear. I think, yeah, that's the true fear. Okay. That changes things a ton. Yeah, I think that's actually a really big deal. Because right now, my fear champion would be Lydia, and her fear is a regular fear. It's not a true fear. True fear being the bigger one, and I'll even include the vault here too. That's a really, really big impact, because that reflecting damage is a real problem. And yeah, reducing it by 50%, sure, whatever, but that's still going to kill your enemy max HP champions. So to be able to get rid of it altogether, I don't know if they have a faction or not for that, but that really makes Lamassu seem very strong to me, especially if you're manualing the fight, because being able to decrease their resistance and accuracy is very good. You also have the decrease attack that would be up a lot, which is again very good for Chimera. You have the cooldown reset here, as well as 50% turn meter on the champions that you'd want to put that on, and she brings that true fear and decreased speed. So my decreased speed champion right now is the Owl, Gwendolyn, but I feel like this would be far better as a decreased speed champion, and then I would just need to find some better ways to heal my team. Maybe that means changing out from Elva or bringing in a different champion that might bring some healing. In fact, that actually enables Androck for me quite a bit, I feel like. I'm currently not using him, but that might really step him up and bring that true fear. Yeah, wow, that I didn't know that. I didn't hear that part when I first listened to the video earlier today, so.
That's not everything. The Lockhorn's passive will now only...
Okay, I didn't know that happened.
Increase the Chimera's turn meter by 25% instead of 50% when a skill fails to activate thanks to a fear debuff. Oh, and we're having the dual HP bar for good measure. With all that said, don't get comfortable. Oh, and we're having to a fear debuff.
What does that mean?
Oh, and we're having...
Oh, they're having pathing. They're okay. They're having the dual HP bar for good measure, so you can break the duel if the champion that gets attacked survives. Okay.
Bar for good measure. With all that said,
so you can really take a bigger consideration into who your tank is for duel. It's a little bit more important now, right? Currently, my Lydia is my tank for the duel, and she just dies, and I don't care because I can't get rid of it anyways. But now that we might be able to get rid of the duel with Lydia potentially staying alive, could be pretty good. So
don't get comfortable. The ram form's accuracy is getting a buff, meaning your champions will find it harder to resist debuffs. While the ram form may be getting more tame, the lion...
I don't think that that's that big of an issue because mostly you're using cleansing and block debuffs to not take those anyways. And really the only reason that he generates a bunch of turns, at least for me, is because my team is usually half dead. So I'm not worried about that.
Form is going in the other direction. We're increasing its base attack and giving it a guaranteed AoE attack with its Shred Reality skill. Plus, the second hit from Atomizing Roar will now ignore defense. Make way for the Apex Predator.
I'm a little nervous about this, to be honest. I've said in the past, in lower difficulties, I don't know what this guy does, because it's really been a non-issue. This is just a stage where I do a lot of damage. But in Ultra Nightmare, I'm dying quite a bit now. It doesn't matter, because I can just revive my team, so it's not really a big deal. But I do see this as potentially being the new problem area for the higher levels. For at least for me, it will probably be a problem. One thing that I just occurred to me too that might be interesting is the changes to ram form I'm actually a little worried about that, because you could completely negate a reviver too. Like you could just say, oh, well, if I'm not dying in ram form every time, then why bring a reviver? Why bring because my team won't die. So hopefully the idea here is that this form will maybe still kill one or two of your champions, so you still have to bring a reviver. Otherwise, the damage numbers are going to ramp up big time. So granted, a lot of the supports that you want to bring tend to have revives anyways, but if you're looking for there are a lot of cleanse and block debuffs that also don't revive. So there's a lot that could really fill these roles and really change the meta quite a bit, I feel like. Which might be good. I'm excited for my free-to-play because I don't have a really good cleanse reviver for Chimera. So if they're going to say, well, you're not going to die on ram form anymore, it's like, oh, cool. Well, then I'll just bring in Mithrala, right, as my cleanser now and my shield buff. So that might be a little bit better option. Of course, ram and the duel will still kill somebody, but if you can control whether or not they die with certain champions, there's some options.
Chimera itself getting a tweak. We're also adjusting several trials to make them a little easier for you to complete.
I'm sorry, what did he say?
We're also adjusting Chimera itself getting a... It's not just the Chimera itself getting a tweak. We're also adjusting several trials to make them a little easier for you to complete. Lastly, let's dive into a slew of quality of life improvements we've got.
I didn't focus in on the trials because I don't currently do trials, so I don't have a lot of input to give on that. But I am glad that they are changing them, and I hope they make them to be ones that are a little bit more passive. Like, I don't have to use a very specific champion to be able to achieve them.
Got coming with update 10.55. For starters, champions in the vault will be available as food for the instant rank up feature in the tavern. We're also introducing a new commission option in the Faction Guardians tab. You'll be able to commission champions that are assigned to a Faction Guardian chamber, and that'll permanently grant you that chamber's bonus. Those champions will be entirely removed as they would be when sacrificed for a rank up.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. I didn't fully understand it when I first did the watch through, but I like that a ton, to be able to just sacrifice champions so you don't need to have a bunch of space taken up in your vault. I think that's pretty nice.
But it's a great way to clear out some clutter from your collection. Next up, we're introducing the option to refresh certain advanced quests if you don't like the look of them. You'll only get one refresh per...
Why certain advanced quests? The one that everyone's going to want is going to be like Hydra. I don't want to do Hydra today, reset. But what if you want to do Hydra that day, and that's the only one you get to reset? So you still have to do all the other ones, but maybe you don't want to use a charm at the forge or unlock a mastery instead. I feel like you just do all of them. Why only certain ones? I will say this, though. Let's not complain, right? We're getting something. We're getting some quality of life stuff. So I'm trying to stay positive, right? I'm glad we're getting that. It just seems kind of silly to not just allow us to refresh one a day, but make them all refreshable.
Them all or not. Speaking of quests, we're also simplifying one of the clan quests. Instead of surviving 150 turns against the Hydra, you'll now only need to hold the line for 100. Whew. And finally, we're updating the battle.
I feel like they're making it sound like... I feel like the bigger problem is not players not being able to survive 100. It's for players that are getting to 1,500 turns before the clan, before the Hydra takes 100 turns, or 150 turns.
Info for all clan bosses. The chest rewards tab will
That might be a little extreme. I might be a little off there.
now clearly indicate if the damage you've dealt is sufficient to claim one of the chests. We're almost done here, but before we wrap things up, let's take a peek at some of the awesome new champions coming with 10.55. We have an avian
already seen this guy.
Lord who belongs to Androck the Glorious's famed Knights of the Wild, and several other mighty champions to join along with him.
Okay, I'm just want to look at these and kind of see. I would assume that none of these are mythicals because, again, this is an assumption, but because they're not showing an alternate form, but I would say that these guys are pretty detailed and could be mythicals, these two. This one kind of just looks like a skinwalker, to be honest. I don't know how this evolves, but I could see, like, when I see colors, strong colors, I could see that red theme going through and him, like, being, you know, covered in red fire and or green flame or something, but, you know, who knows?
And that's everything for today. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this sneak peek, and subscribe to the channel for more raid content coming soon. Until next time.
Cool. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and wrap that up because that took a lot longer than I thought. I hope you guys liked my comments on it. I hope it gave you some different thoughts or insights on what's coming in this new patch. But as always, I just want to say thank you guys for watching. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. It is the best way to support my channel. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Take care.